Welcome to Manchester United News Update. Subscribe for more Manchester United news, match previews, and transfer updates. Man United transfer news. Marcus Rashford exit terms revealed as Ruben Amorim hits problems. Manchester United are expected to be big players in the January transfer window, with Ruben Amorim looking to boost his squad and Marcus Rashford eyeing an exit. It has been a quiet start to the transfer window for Manchester United, though things are likely to heat up in the coming days. The future of Marcus Rashford is set to be a hot topic over the next 3 weeks. The attacker has made it clear he is ready for a new challenge, and it is understood United are willing to let him leave Old Trafford. The Red Devils will be looking to get the best deal possible, though, and negotiations could take longer than Rashford may be hoping for. Ruben Amorim, meanwhile, is looking to boost his squad after making a mixed start to life as manager. Amorim has a number of targets on his shopping list, but may be restricted by United needing to sell before they can buy. Here, Mirror Football rounds up all the latest Manchester United transfer news. Rashford exit terms revealed. Manchester United will allow Marcus Rashford to leave on loan, but only if certain conditions are met. Rashford has made it clear he is ready to leave Old Trafford, having struggled over the past 2 years. He is now attracting interest from a number of clubs, including AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund. According to the Daily Mail, United would be willing to sanction a loan, but only if the deal contains an obligation to buy clause. If they were to sell him, United would be looking for a fee in the region of £40 million. The 27-year-old's wage demands may also be difficult to overcome for any potential suitor, with Rashford currently earning £325,000 per week. Ruben Amorim is growing increasingly interested in PSG star Randal Colomwani. The France international has found himself out of favor at the Parc des Princes, and he watched from the stands as PSG beat Monaco in the Champions Trophy on Sunday. According to Le Parisien, the striker is expected to leave the French capital by the end of the month. United are said to be showing more serious interest in the 26-year-old, having tracked him since his time at Eintracht Frankfurt. The Red Devils have made contract with his representatives, with PSG open to a loan deal including an option to buy. Both Colomwani and the French champions are clear a solution to his future must be found this month. Amorim hits Mendes problems. Manchester United are being frustrated in their bid to sign PSG star Nuno Mendes. The left-back has risen to the top of boss Ruben Amorim's shopping list following their successful time together at Sporting Lisbon. With Luke Shaw injured and Tyrell Malacia not up to scratch, Amorim has selected Mendes as his primary target. But according to The Telegraph, PSG are keen for the 22-year-old to remain at the park. Ruben Amorim could do something he has never done as Manchester United head coach versus Arsenal. Man United head coach Ruben Amorim will experience the FA Cup for the very first time this coming weekend. Manchester United have set themselves a standard to try and maintain ahead of Sunday's FA Cup third-round tie against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. Sunday's 2-2 draw with Liverpool at Anfield marked United's best performance of the Ruben Amorim era thus far, and they will be determined to build on it when they kick off their defense of their FA Cup crown. United, despite the encouraging nature of their performance against Liverpool, will travel to the capital as underdogs. Furthermore, they have not won at the Emirates since January 2019. Ahead of the draw with Arne Slot's side last time out, Amorim, in a pre-match interview with MUTV released on Saturday, spoke of the improvements he had seen from his team, having finally had the opportunity to spend a decent amount of time on the training pitch. "Really good," said Amorim when asked how training had been ahead of the trip to Anfield. "It's so much different when you, for example, have 2 training sessions to have everybody to explain the idea, to work on the little things, and you are happier. You feel that you are improving, and that is the feeling that I have had this week. Let's see on the game." The improvements Amorim had seen in training translated onto the pitch at Anfield. United, who had lost a 4th game on the bounce ahead of the trip to Merseyside, being beaten 2-0 by Newcastle United, produced the kind of characteristics that had been missing in previous games. To a man, United were excellent. It was hard to find fault with anyone's individual performance, meaning Amorim, for the very first time since succeeding Erik ten Hag at the start of November, might feel confident enough to name an unchanged team in the capital. Over the course of his first 12 games in charge, Amorim has made a total of 51 changes to his starting 11. The bulk of those changes were inspired by his rotation policy, but some have been as a direct result of injuries, illness, or suspension. Amorim's debut in the dugout, a 1-1 draw with Ipswich Town at Portman Road on November 24th, marked the first of 11 games before the end of 2024. A run of 11 matches in the space of just 36 days meant Amorim had very little time on the training ground to get his ideas across. The longest gap United had between games during that run was just 5 days. That 5-day period was between the 3-2 defeat to Nottingham Forest on December 7th and the 2-1 Europa League win over Victoria Plzen on December 12th. By the time Amorim and his players arrive at the Emirates on Sunday afternoon, United will have gone exactly a week without a game, meaning this free midweek is likely to be relished by the former Sporting Lisbon boss. He has repeatedly banged the drum about needing time on the training ground to get his ideas across. Man United plot monster £50 million move for informed 25-year-old attacker with 35 Premier League goals. Manchester United have set their sights on one of the Premier League's standout performers. Premier League heavyweights Manchester United are believed to be plotting a blockbuster £50 million move for highly rated Brentford attacker Bryan Mbeumo in this January transfer window. The Red Devils have scored just 23 goals from 20 matches in the Premier League this season, which remarkably makes them one of the lowest scorers in the division, with only Southampton, Everton, Ipswich Town and Crystal Palace finding the net on fewer occasions. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim is keen to rectify this issue in the winter window and is determined to sign a forward that can help the club rediscover its goal-scoring touch, with both Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee struggling to find the net on a regular basis. Spanish outlet Fichajes understands that 20-time Cameroon international Mbeumo has been identified as one of the club's leading target due to his electric pace, his ability to dribble past defenders with ease, and his sensational goal-scoring prowess. Heading into the 2024-25 campaign, many pundits questioned how Brentford, who finished 16th last season, would fare after the departure of their star striker Ivan Toney. However, few have even mentioned Toney's absence since the start of the season due to the immense partnership that has been formed by Bryan Mbeumo and Yoane Wissa, who recently became the first duo from the same club to reach double figures for goals this season. Mbeumo has been the catalyst for Brentford's strong start, and his tally of 13 goals make him the joint third top scorer in the Premier League alongside Cole Palmer and Alexander Isak, and only narrowly behind the likes of Erling Haaland and Mohamed Salah. The 25-year-old has been at Brentford for 6 years and has been a pivotal part in the club's journey from the Championship to Premier League consolidation. Blessed with excellent speed, strength, and an eye for goal, Mbeumo is able to comfortably play as both as an out-and-out centre forward and as a right winger. Overall, he has netted 35 Premier League goals and 24 assists in 118 appearances for the Bees, which is particularly impressive when bearing in mind he has played the bulk of his football as a winger. Fichajes understands that Manchester United are willing to make an opening bid of around £50 million for the Cameroon frontman, but adds that Brentford may hold out for a greater fee as they aim to mount a shock push for European football. Bees boss Thomas Frank responded to speculation by telling reporters, "In January? I would say good luck. We love Bryan. He loves playing here. He has had a fantastic season, so nothing will happen." Kobbie Mainoo unhappy with Manchester United contract offer amid Chelsea links. Kobbie Mainoo's Man United future is suddenly uncertain amid speculation that Chelsea could make a move for him. Kobbie Mainoo is unhappy with the initial terms Manchester United have offered for a new contract amid sudden uncertainty over his future. Mainoo, 19, is under contract at United until 2027, and the club has the option of an additional year, but he has been heavily linked with Chelsea. United sources say they do not want to drive Mainoo out of the club. Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund and Andre Onana were the only players United regarded as not for sale in the summer, but each individual has endured difficulties this season. Midfielder Mainoo spent 8 weeks on the sidelines with a hamstring injury in October and November after a weary start to the campaign. He has only started in 5 of head coach Ruben Amorim's 12 games in charge. Stockport-born Mainoo impressed back in the starting 11 in the 2-2 draw with Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday, but United struggles to comply with the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules could force their hand with academy sales. Academy players represent a pure profit, and the PSR influenced United's decision to sell Scott McTominay to Napoli in August. United also received fees for Mason Greenwood, Willy Kambwala, Hannibal Mejbri, Alvaro Fernandez, and Will Fish. Former United sporting director Dan Ashworth said in September the era of the one-club player was effectively over. "I've seen this written before. I'm not saying anything new. The number of players that will be one-club players there for a long period of time, I think it's probably changing within the game, and that's an unintended consequence of the rules and regulations." Mainoo signed his existing deal in February 2023 when he was still only 17. He has since cemented his place in the United side with a string of standout performances, scored the winner in the FA Cup final against Manchester City, and contributed to England's run to the European Championship final, which he started in. Mainoo is represented by the Stellar Agency and renewed his sponsorship with Nike in August. Man United clear to secure signing of £53.9 million star. Manchester United may have put on a decent show against Liverpool last weekend in the Premier League, but their season so far has been abysmal without an iota of doubt. The English club have also changed managers mid-season. It has been a while since the fans have enjoyed success in the Premier League, with their last league win coming more than 10 years ago. However, they still managed to stay in relevance and compete for a Champions League place until recently. Currently, 13th in the Premier League, it would be an absolute miracle if Manchester United can go on and secure Champions League qualification in the second half of the season, but that would also require other teams about them to fall off a cliff, quite literally. One major issue that has plagued the Old Trafford outfit so far this season has been a lack of goals, especially from the strikers. With the January transfer window now open, it gives the club a chance to sign a player who can help alleviate these issues. Now, as per multiple reports including TalkSport and Team Talk, Juventus are willing to offer Dusan Vlahovic in a swap deal to Manchester United in exchange for Joshua Zirkzee, whose career in England has been an absolute flop so far. Thus, the Red Devils are clear to secure the Serie A striker's signing. Valued at around £53.9 million, a swap deal should help bring down this fee. However, at surface level, it is almost impossible to understand why Juventus want to give a striker who has already scored 12 goals across competitions so far this season for a player who had only scored 12 in the entirety of the last campaign. That said, it is worth noting that Juventus coach Thiago Motta was the one who brought the best out of Joshua Zirkzee at Bologna and seems to prefer the Dutchman in his system, despite Vlahovic being the better striker at the stage of his career. Man United should ideally be happy accept this offer, and let's wait and see if this transfer goes through this month.